All right, kicking off this next game here with Golden Guardians versus Dignitas. Demonte getting the chance to face off against his former organization, moving from the Dignitas Academy roster over to the Golden Guardians. It's in week one, and he gets a chance to prove himself here on the LCS stage, maybe take some revenge against his former org, gets to face off with his old teammates. So definitely just going to be looking at him to see how he can perform in a situation where there's some personal stakes in it, and I think that'll be a fun lane to watch. On top of, he gets to lane against Froggen, one of the old guard, a solid mid laner on a variety of champions, so mid lane is just going to be a good place to watch with some power players. So now with all these bans rolled out, some of the usual ones we're seeing pretty much every single game. Kalista, Varus, and Syndra once again. Aphelios banned away from FBI. Dignitas making sure to take away a couple of those key AD carries, deny that first pick Aphelios, keep FBI off that hyper carry. The Yuumi being banned away by Golden Guardians, going to prevent that Ezreal Yuumi lock in from Dignitas. We've seen that first picked for the red side quite a few times. Ornn being banned away by the Golden Guardians, making sure Dignitas does not have that safe laner, as well as the team fight potential that he provides. Dignitas still locking in the Ezreal even without the Yuumi, so they're still looking for all of the power in the poke damage that he can provide, on top of the survivability that he gets because of all of the armor he has built into his main build items. Set being locked in as well, a powerful pick with a lot of CC and control potential, and Golden Guardians locking in Renekton, instead opting for a more aggressive top lane, playing a champion that doesn't really scale into the late game as hard as many of the top laners in the current meta, but instead can snowball really hard off of small leads. So definitely looking to see Closer trying to use, just throw his weight around top lane and try to get Viper killed off, try to get some kills and extra gold onto Haunter so he can start running away with that lane and really turn that Renekton into the monster he has to be, because otherwise that's going to be a subpar champion for Golden Guardians. They're going to have to face off against Set, who is going to become more tankier, is going to provide a lot more CC. He's going to be able to do more for his team in the late game than Renekton, unless that Renekton just becomes an absolutely terrifying monster. So definitely going to be keeping some eyes on top lane. It looks like Golden Guardians locking in the Kaisa for FBI, going for a later game carry. Going to get someone who needs items and will have the ability to go in, alongside the Renekton possibly, add to that engage potential, that heavier dive potential. On top of the Graves, who has the smokescreen, going to provide a lot of ability for them to just go in when they choose to go in. FBI going to be able to just land the Void Seeker and jump in off of that, even from a very significant range, or possibly, if he can get some stacks of plasma onto champions, it'll let him jump to the other side of combat, kind of allow him to skirt away from anyone who tries to dive on top of him. Definitely going to be looking at him and those ultimates for keeping himself safe. And then we've got a Trundle pick for Acadian, going to be just a jungler we've seen quite a bit. His safety and his control ability allowing him a lot of versatility and making him a very consistent pick. Him and Graves have been very much the top picks for jungle lately. Then we've got some bans going out towards the mid lane. Galio, LeBlanc, and Zoe taken away. Karma we have seen mid lane, or no, we saw that top lane. It was Soaz who played the Karma, but still a mid lane pick potential. Lots of bans targeting mid lane with neither team having picked their mid laner's champion yet. We're seeing Orianna locked in for Dignitas, a really good pick when paired with the Set, because Set's ult is a very good delivery system for the Shockwave. Throw the shield onto him, he ults the tank back into his team, taking the ball with him, Shockwave onto 2 or 3 members. If they can get that set up, Dignitas has a ridiculously good engage. Over on Golden Guardians, locking in the Echo, getting more engaged. Golden Guardians have a team that is incredible at going in, and Golden Guardians also taking the Thresh, which means they have that hook. They have that potential to start the fight off of a good chain.
if Huhi can land the right chain onto Johnson, onto Froggen, and grab somebody that Dig doesn't want to die, Golden Guardians can have the potential with their current comp to jump on that so quickly that Dignitas definitely are going to have to play for ward control, play for jungle control, because if they are getting picked off too regularly, then Golden Guardians are really going to be able to snowball this game. They're going to be able to play for getting Haunter ahead, getting FBI to those later game items quickly, getting Damonte ahead. Echo can do a lot if he gets a bit of a lead, because he'll be able to play a little more aggressively, be diving for his own shields, getting procs of the Z drive, and just really doing a lot more damage. They have a lot of snowball potential over on Golden Guardian's side. Over on Dignitas, we're seeing that Leona for Aphromoo, a comfortable pick for him and something he has shown a lot of competency on in the past, having the ability to really control those fights and also, in a way, counter the Thresh and counter a lot of that engage, because whoever goes in first, he can start the peel. He can use the Zenith Blade to jump in, stun with the Q, drop the ult if needed, and really try and keep people off of whoever Golden Guardians try to dive onto. So we're definitely going to be looking at Aphromoo a lot, looking at what he's doing to keep people off of Ezreal, and Ezreal making sure to have that arcane shift just in case. And then Froggen on that Orianna is going to be definitely in a bit of a sticky situation. You know, he has a lot of damage potential and a lot of safety from the control that Orianna provides, but he doesn't have any kind of dash or really major speed boost. The Dissonance will help. It will add some speed boost that can also be a slow down for the other team, so in the right situation that will help them get away very effectively. But not having any inbuilt dashes himself, he is going to be at risk for being caught a lot more than the Ezreal for sure, so I'm expecting the Thresh from Huhi to be looking to catch the Orianna most. You know, I think that would be the prime pick there, especially being that they could deny the possibility of the ball delivery from Viper. If Orianna's not in the fight, you can't use the Shockwave. It's really that easy. So I'm expecting to see Golden Guardians try to target Froggen quite a bit here. You know, he looks like he took Phase Rush, so he's definitely understanding that he needs to be able to have that move speed, be able to dodge abilities as much as possible. Got some dancing around in the bot lane here. FBI spotting out Johnson and Aphromoo. Ward getting dropped at that entrance. Probably just keeping an eye on him, making sure that everyone is going where they are expected to be. Viper and Haunter trading a little bit of blows there. All of it from Haunter. Actually not taking any damage in return, just throwing that Q out. Viper flashing his I'm dead emote, making sure that Haunter knows how scared he is. Trading off a little bit of damage here. About 100 each, nothing major. It looks like top lane's already starting that brawl. Viper showing he's really not scared of that early game potential of Haunter, but I know that Haunter is also not as strong level 1. His ability to really win trades comes through at level 2 especially, being able to get the stun off of the W and then Q for the heal and a lot of damage in return. And, you know, Haunter just tried to do that. He tried to abuse a little bit of damage there. Viper pulling him into the turret range, making him take a turret shot and lose the fight. But because of the empowered Q, Haunter's going to be able to lifesteal back quite a bit and end up with a, you know, pretty safe lane all in all. He's going to be putting that deep ward there to make sure that he can spot out Acadian before he gets to him, because just by nature of Renekton, he's going to be pushing this lane in pretty hard. Now, looking at the mid lane here, Damonte just utilizing that Q to make sure that he can keep that lane pushed. Froggen otherwise going to have a very easy time out pushing him, being just the AoE power of the ball as well as the auto attacks just being at range, going to give him a lot more freedom. Closer and Acadian about to run into each other. A lot of damage coming in from Closer as he lands the Shockwave, landing lots of full hit auto attacks onto Acadian, burning his flash. Acadian forced to smite the Raptors. Closer's almost going to get him, and he's going to finish him off, both utilizing a smite on those Raptors to try and get the speed buff, but Froggen just not able to actually help enough as Damonte jumping in to zone him off. Closer getting that solo kill, catching Acadian in the river, landing a good amount of damage with the smoke screen, forcing what seemed to be a little bit of a delayed reaction from Acadian, who thanks to the smoke screen, was really unsure of exactly what was happening. He didn't have full vision of the area. And Demonte just starting to try to bully Froggen a little bit, really utilizing the full power of those 3-hit Z-Drive bursts, making sure that Froggen does not have free pressure in that lane. Looking down here at the bot lane, looks like we're getting a little bit of a CS lead for FBI. Nothing too major, only about 5 ahead. But Johnson and Afromu just playing it safe, landing some poke when they can. He down about a third of his HP. And seeing this again, yeah, it's so an auto followed by smokescreen and the Q from Closer takes Acadian down to half health like immediately. Utilizing the burn from Red, Demonte starts stepping forward, takes a bunch of damage from Froggen and has to turn around to fight, takes him to half HP, but then the two of them fighting makes it so neither one can go help out in that duel between the junglers. Closer just absolutely out damaging Acadian in every way. Acadian already on the run when that fight started, really unable to actually put any damage out, and ends up just losing that fight wholesale. Puts him down about 10 CS now to Closer, who also has a kill up on him, but Acadian got the free back from death, so who really came out the winner there. Demonte now pushing into the red side top jungle, making sure to get some wards, as Acadian will certainly be looking to gank, looking to try and find something to catch up, to get back that little bit of lost time, and make sure that he doesn't just concede pressure to Closer, who got to finish his jungle item, at least at its core. Hasn't finished the upgrade yet. Looks like he's going for the warrior upgrade, but getting that finished jungle item, picking up 2 longswords, and the boots especially going to allow him to move around a lot quicker. Acadian instead only getting to get the Hunter's Talisman off of that back, having to go out, clear the jungle, return again, just pick up the finished jungle item and a health rock. Viper actually doing some good work up here in the top lane, really bullying the Renekton. Kind of a surprise here, making sure that the Renekton has to feel a lot of that pain and making sure, doing some really good trades. He's playing this very well in a matchup that Renekton should have a really easy time with, but part of the power here is that with Closer bullying Acadian, there has not been able to be a gank. There's not been jungle pressure able to be focused top lane in a way that Closer has not been able to put the relative pressure top lane that is needed. Instead, just dueling Acadian and roaming and farming. Looks like he's looking towards Dragon now. But Haunser, on the other hand, has just been in this 1v1 taking a lot of pain. Viper picking up 2 cloth armors, to Haunser picking up a control ward and a vampiric scepter. Haunser playing instead to, rather than prevent the damage, just recuperate it quickly. Viper just playing to prevent the damage in total. Viper now going in on Haunser, both 6. Acadian coming in, using the frozen domain and not actually getting the fight continuing. Haunser seeing him and moving away. Closer knowing that Acadian is in his topside jungle, going to go ahead and take his blue away from him with the bot lane pressure on his side, able to know that the Dignitas bot lane cannot roam up to contest him here. Going to take that away cleanly without even getting spotted out. Acadian just in his topside, continuing to farm. Demonte pushing in the mid lane as much as possible. Froggen beating him in CS, but not by much. Gold about even across the board. Little bit of an advantage over onto Closer side, sitting about 500 gold ahead. Otherwise, lanes less than 100 gold difference for the most part. No real advantage yet. The little bit of priority over the jungler going to allow them to take that dragon very cleanly and easily, along with a lot of push in the bottom and mid lanes. Going to give them the priority they need to make sure Dignitas can't really contest that fight. Acadian also not being 6. Every one of these solo players on Golden Guardians were already 6 at the point of that dragon, and Acadian not being 6, really denying him a lot of the tankiness that he gets from that ultimate, going to prevent him from wanting to get into some major fights. So that was a really good call from Golden Guardians, just rushing to that dragon, making sure they can get it quick. Going to make it so that way Dignitas, on top of just not having priority, would have had a very, very hard time contesting, just purely by nature of the level difference. 2 levels up Closer over Acadian. Going to also just allow his smite to deal more damage. Going to allow him to be able to secure that dragon before Acadian actually had the ability to, thanks to smite. Closer now, since he took the blue buff from Dignitas, able to give the second one over to Damonte. 2 blue buffs onto Golden Guardian's side, going to allow them to throw more damage out there. Vision Ward from both teams in the Rift Herald pit here, going to allow Dignitas to know this is happening, but with lane priority in Golden Guardian's favor in every lane. Not really going to be much they can do to contest this. Closer pulling it all the way out of the pit, going to prevent any over-the-wall snipes from happening. Taking it down to just under 2k HP, but 3 members of Dignitas rotating in to try and steal it from him. He's going to end up nabbing it, grab the eye, dash past the wall. The ultimate from Acadian going to go off of on him. Aframu going to miss the Zenith Blade. Viper coming in, ulting Closer back into the rest of Dignitas, and that's going to be a kill, but at the cost of a couple ultimates. In the end, going to be, still a win for Dignitas. They ended up walking away with the kill. They didn't burn all of those resources and walk away with nothing, but Closer still sneaking that Rift Herald out at the last second there, making sure to pick up the eye so it doesn't just despawn. Golden Guardian's going to be able to turn that into at least some gold if he can go drop that somewhere where they can get turret plates with it. And that's going to be, a bunch of gold slides over to the Golden Guardian's side, going to allow them to get more just more lead as quickly as possible. They're building up bits of gold leads through CSing with 10 CS above in several lanes, 20 CS above in the jungle. Closer playing very, very well, utilizing the clear speed that Graves provides, as well as the early game damage to make sure that he has more priority than Acadian. Viper pulling Haunser into turret range, forcing him to take a turret shot, but taking more damage than Haunser for it. Going to run in and give him a smack, but not really enough to off-put Haunser. He's just going to come back, utilize that Bilgewater Cutlass combined with the power from his Q to heal all of that damage right back up. Viper opting for the Ninja Tabbies early, along with another Cloth Armor, going to allow him the ability to just tank through a lot of Haunser's damage. Unless Haunser lands the Armor Shred from his dash, he's really going to have his damage reduced pretty significantly already. And I can only assume Viper's going to build a bit more armor, especially with Closer being a bigger threat. FBI also having a lot of threat potential. A good stun from Damonte onto Aframu, going to allow the rest of Golden Guardians there, Closer and Hui, to take him to half health, but not going to get much more from that. Froggen and Acadian nearby going to force off Golden Guardians from diving too heavily onto that pick. Haunser being really far forward in the top lane, going to continue to try and pressure Viper. He's popping the ultimate, going in with the stun, utilizing that armor shred from the dash, going to use Q to heal up off the wave. Viper trying to take him into the turret range, but a flash from Haunser on immediate landing going to save his life, keep him out of there with 200 HP. Drop a ward into that brush to make sure Viper doesn't come after him. Both top laners burning a lot of resources there, but I think Haunser coming out worse of the two, having to burn his flash as well just to get out of that alive. It was a good fight, but Viper played that really well, making sure to keep him out of, or push him back into the turret range, rather, as fast as possible, since with that ultimate going and the damage items on top of the Ninja Tabbies, Haunser was not going to go down without a fight there. He's going to put a lot of hurt onto Viper, and especially with the ult ticking, possibly out-trade him, possibly beat him to the punch. So Viper making sure to swing those odds in his favor, played that quite well. Looks like Acadian taking this blue, going to give it over to Froggen, allow him to get that cooldown reduction, mana regen, spam those abilities a little more. Maybe try to get more priority in the mid lane, push that lane in harder. With Dragon up, Dignitas definitely looking for the setup here. 4 members of Golden Guardians nearby, 4 members of Dignitas nearby, both top laners still far away, but Haunser already rotating down nearly at mid lane. Golden Guardians going to get priority on the Dragon, force Dignitas off, and just start up the Dragon with FBI, Closer already taking it down very quickly. Hui helping out. That was free. I don't know why Dignitas backed off so hard. Viper had teleport up, so did Haunser. They would have been able to call down a 5th member. Dignitas having more of a team fight potential in Golden Guardians, I think, with Aframu and Froggen having like the ball delivery system there as well, not even really needing Viper for that. Those enclosed spaces of the river and the Dragon Pit seemed like they would have been a place that Dignitas wanted to fight. I'm not really sure why they gave that up so easily. Only about 2,000 gold in Golden Guardians' favor spread across a lot of their team members, so no one really a massively significant threat. No one really that far ahead. Closer only having one level over Acadian. Their smites are pretty close together, so really, I'm not sure why Dignitas backed off of that so easily. That's a second dragon over to Golden Guardians, them getting one step closer to that soul. Next dragon looks going to be a Cloud Drake, so going to give them a little bit of regen. Well, right now, Golden Guardians have a little bit of regen, a little bit of extra siege damage, and should they take the next Drake, going to have a little bit of move speed as well. Going to be able to play around objectives significantly better with the three of those put together. One kill on each side, only about 1,500 gold now ahead for Golden Guardians. Dignitas has been playing pretty well, you know, making sure to win those trades with Viper in the top lane, Froggen making sure to keep himself even with Damonte, even has a kill over him, but they haven't actually been able to translate that into objectives so far. No turrets down for either team, a bunch of turret damage bot lane thanks to the Rift Herald with Closer dropping that down there, but Dignitas responding well to make sure that they can't actually take that bottom lane turret. No turrets down yet, but all of the objectives so far have gone to Golden Guardians. Closer playing really well, making sure to have or take advantage of the priority that his team is providing him with both mid lane and bot lane being pushed in so much. The power of Huhi and FBI really showing in that 2v2. Acadian looking for something down bot lane here. It looks like Viper and Acadian going for the turret dive, but Damonte's nearby. They're going in on Haunter. That's going to be a bunch of damage, force the stun. Acadian just going to get locked up with CC and dropped by the turret. Acadian, and I'm not really sure what the plan there was. Haunter has so much tankiness and so much lifesteal, especially when his Fury is capped up and he's got that Q, that empowered Q hitting 2 champions. He was at full health when they went into that. He wasn't low. That seemed very greedy. That wasn't really the right play, especially knowing that, or giving that information over to Golden Guardians that Acadian was bot lane, and then him dying, passing that priority even harder, allowing them to take this Respond Rift Herald with really no contest from Dignitas, as no one is there to be able to actually put up a reasonable fight. Golden Guardians taking their second Rift Heralds. Now that's 2 dragons, 2 Rift Heralds over to them. The objective control heavily in their favor. That second kill going over their way, and a first turret kill as well. So looking at this replay here, we know we've got Viper pushing in the lane. Haunter clearing some jungle camps over here. Looks like Acadian overtaking the Rift Scuttlecrab maybe? Or just coming down the lane, roaming. It looks like they called this fight, especially Acadian going to draw. He doesn't drop that sweeper quick enough, and he does get spotted out. Ult from Viper going to knock Haunter into the wall. He's going to immediately use the ultimate, get that bunch of HP, and CC Acadian with Damonte coming in right after. That teleport from Froggen coming in really late. Didn't seem like it actually did anything but maybe prevent a re-engage. With Haunter down low, I don't think Golden Guardians would have chased Viper down. I don't think that would have been the play, even with Froggen not being there. So that teleport coming in very late, not actually doing anything to help the dive. And in the end, it kind of just seemed like a wasted teleport. Didn't really do anything for Dignitas. Dignitas seems like they're kind of playing on the back foot here, and that play felt a little bit like a desperation play, even though they're not that far behind. The game has not started to snowball out of their control yet. But with plays like that, it's going to, dropping this Rift Herald here in the mid lane, it's going to crack that turret down to a 3rd HP. Top lane missing its outer turret. Haunter pushing in bot lane. Golden Guardians making sure to push in, just keep this map control that they've had for so long. Huhi going to land a hook onto Aphromoo. Aphromoo going to use the Zenith Blade to jump in on him, stun Closer, but now the follow-up from Golden Guardian is going to be huge. The ult from Closer going to whiff. They're going to take Aphromoo down to very low HP, and FBI is going to finish him off. Haunter in the back on Froggen, taking him down to very low HP, taking a bunch of damage in return. Acadian burning that ultimate. Damonte dueling Viper. FBI going in for a bunch of damage. That's a whiff shockwave from Froggen. Damonte and Viper going to get separated by the blast cone. No one's going to go down. Closer and Damonte now rejoining the rest of the team, following up. Johnson getting down to half HP. Not going to be enough. Just going to end with the single kill down onto Aphromoo. Viper separating some of the damage threats from Golden Guardians enough that they were not able to follow up and get multiple kills, even though several members of Dignitas taken low. Haunter taken pretty low as well, but Haunter tying up several members of Dignitas for the start of that fight, proving that the lifesteal tank that Renekton can be, especially with a bit of an item lead, allows him to just have a lot of safety, allows him to really go in hard onto Dignitas's backline like he did there, going in on Johnson, Froggen, and I think it was Acadian. And then the empowered Q on 3 champions, letting him heal quite a bit and be a lot tankier than he appears to be, especially with the ultimate ticking, giving him that bonus HP. A good fight from Golden Guardians, translating it into a 3rd dragon, and now Damonte up in the top lane, dealing a bunch of damage to Viper, taking him to half HP. Viper not going to throw out that haymaker, even though that bar was fully charged, just going to walk away. No one from Golden Guardians circling up to try and turn that into something else. Acadian nearby anyways, just in case that were to happen. Johnson and FBI just dueling mid lane, pushing out, both trying to get a little bit of lane priority here, but both being able to clear the waves, just reset that back to square one. Johnson going to take the red buff, going to make sure that he can put that extra burn damage and slow with Ezreal's ranged, being able to apply those with the Q, going to be huge. Let Dignitas get some more poke damage slowly but surely. This mid lane tower on Dignitas' side, only a breath away from going down. That's going to be an objective that Golden Guardian surely will want to take soon. Going to open up the map significantly once they do, as the other outer turrets for Dignitas are already down. Kind of the last one of the bunch for them. Dragon up in 3.5 minutes. Baron up in 10 seconds. And with a 4,000 gold lead, Golden Guardians looking to have some priority there. No team really having that much vision around the Baron pit. The little bit that is there in Dignitas's favor. Golden Guardians just looking to take this mid lane turret. Gonna get FBI coming in, trying to get that bit of extra damage. Aphromu threatening him, getting pulled out by the Hu-He Lantern. Not going to be anything there. But that turret, now even closer, just a light breeze from falling. A single auto attack would probably do it from anybody on Golden Guardian's side. Someone could just walk up and take that turret even without minions. Damonte looking to make a play onto Viper here. Viper nowhere to go, gonna step forward to avoid the stun. A bunch of damage from that Z-Drive proc going to drop Viper to half HP, but Damonte taking a beating in return. Gonna make him unable to continue that fight and force the 1v1. FBI going to slowly but surely end up getting in for that auto attack, take that damage. Acadian forced to use the Frozen Domain to run. Froggen out a little bit further ahead. 3 members of Golden Guardians going to meet up with Haunser, almost pinching Froggen there, but Dignitas falling back enough that they do not get caught in a situation they do not want. Haunser has teleport up, so he's looking to draw a lot of pressure into this bot lane to allow Golden Guardians to make a play somewhere around the Baron pit, looking to draw Dignitas's attention to the other side of the map, especially since he has the teleport advantage over Viper. The only teleport up on Dignitas's side being Froggen, who so far has been with his team consistently. Damonte burning that ult early to dodge Viper's CC, doing a bunch of damage in return, but Viper using that haymaker to throw out a big hit and use the shield to prevent a bunch of damage. Damonte going to end up getting away. Acadian not getting there fast enough to actually provide much for that fight. No real change there. A huge difference closer to Acadian. Closer 50 CS up, 1 kill and 1 assist to just an assist over onto Acadian's side. A significant gold difference. Closer has not opted to finish his boots, instead working on his 3rd item already, picking up that Executioner's Calling to cut the healing down from Acadian. Not going to let him get the bit of heal tank that Trundle can be. And over on with Acadian's items, he's only got his jungle item finished. Jungle item and boots, opting for that Ninja Tabby with, the AD threats from Golden Guardians being a higher potential than the AP threats, but still. Only 1 item completed, only the jungle item. He is significantly behind when it comes to gold, and that's going to be huge. Closer maintaining that level lead, still 2 levels up onto Acadian, going to give them some priority in a smite fight, going to allow Closer to smite anything that would be contested earlier and still be able to secure that, making Dignitas pretty hesitant to take some of these major objectives. Golden Guardians continuing to run with the play of keeping Haunser bot lane, letting him push up and get that priority, only to teleport into some other part of the map should Golden Guardians decide to make a call. Dignitas looks like they're trying to force something to happen mid lane. They have a lot of vision control, but really, Golden Guardians are just kind of ignoring anything thing that they're doing in the mid lane and pushing top and bottom lane, while 4 members of Dignitas are just floundering in the mid lane. Dragon's up in 5 seconds. Damonte and Hanser both have teleports up. Damonte starting the teleport already. Fight looks like it's breaking out around the Dragon Pit as Hanser looks to go in. So they're starting to pinch up. Damonte, a deep ward, going to allow him to flank. Hanser starting the fight with Viper. Viper using that skull crack to get him in, do a bunch of damage. Viper getting down to half HP before this fight even really starts. Lots of poke damage coming out from Golden Guardians. Damonte in a position to deal quite a lot here. Hanser down to half HP as well. Dragon is at half health. Closer and Acadian both looking to trade there, but Dragon's going to reset. Closer just going to continue the damage, make sure that it stays at half HP, but he's taken quite a beating from this Dragon. Dignitas looks like they're getting ready. They kind of want this fight. Damonte going in, utilizing that ult to jump out. Viper using the ult to land 3. Hanser going down very quickly. Viper not actually going to be taken down. FBI taking him very low. Several members of Dignitas very, very low. That's going to be a smite fight won by Acadian. First one of the game. Closer dealing a bunch of damage, but forced to jump over the wall. Damonte trying to find more. FBI continuing to deal that damage. Viper going to pull them in, deal a bunch of damage, use the Haymaker, and combined with that Ezreal Q, that's going to be a 3 for 0 or 3 for 1 for Dignitas that also nets them the Dragon, going to prevent the soul from going over to Golden Guardians. And that's first Dragon of the game. Really well fought by Dignitas. It looked like Golden Guardians was trying to get the setup they wanted, trying to be able to get that pick, but Closer continuing to do this Dragon had him continuing to take a bunch of damage. Dragon getting low very quickly, while the rest of Golden Guardians are kind of spread out. Closer forced over the wall, the hook whiffing. Damonte not actually getting in on any of the carries, forced to ult early and not actually use that for any kind of damage. Viper getting that heal off of from his runes off of Hanser dying, gonna allow him to get away. And there the Q or the Void Seeker from FBI going to find Aframu in the middle of that fight. Damonte going in, and then Viper landing a good skull cracker there on both FBI and Damonte, going to stun both of them and allow for that double kill. Follow up from the rest of Dignitas. For being as behind as they were, that was a really good play. That was a really well fought team fight, especially being that they didn't get to go in on a shockwave from Froggen or a really good ultimate from Leona. Instead, just making the best of a situation. Viper getting a good 3-man ultimate, setting them up in a good way, making sure that all of these short skirmishes leading up to this fight, even if they didn't go in Dignitas's favor, they at least went even. And now it looks like they're looking for Damonte, but a good vision ward dropped there rather than face check, going to allow him to spot out Acadian and Aframu, not actually get into the fight there. Ward control around this Baron Pit looks like is the name of the game right now. The only major objective on the map at the moment, aside from, of course, turrets. Hanser, having not burned his teleport there, going to continue his play in the bot lane, but all 3 teleports on Dignitas' side still up. So Dignitas not really scared of something happening in a different part of the map. Closer teleporting on recalling on a ward, going to get pillared by Acadian. The ult from Aframu going to slow him down, but using that ultimate to jump through the pillar, gonna get himself away safely. No real damage onto Dignitas, nothing lost there, but Closer going to be forced into the other side of the jungle, and that vision fight around Baron not really swayed in either side's favor too much. No one really has comprehensive vision control. Both draw the line right at about the pit itself, so that is still a contested area right now. Viper and Hanser continuing to duke it out in the bot lane, both trying to continue keeping pressure away from the pit, but Viper wants in. He's got that Blade of the Ruined King finished. He is utilizing the speed boost from that Q. He's going to force the ultimate now. Hanser dropping the stasis, utilizing the ultimate. Acadian going in now, but 4 members of Golden Guardians now closing in on Viper. Is Hanser going to go for it? Yes, FBI utilizing the ultimate there to get in on him. Viper taking a bunch of damage, using the Haymaker to gain a big shield. Who he going to end up getting that kill? Closer continuing the fight onto Acadian and Johnson, not actually finding any of them yet. A big shockwave there, almost dead as Closer forced to dash away from the Ezreal Q, taking a bunch of damage from Froggen over the wall there. Froggen being a big reason that that fight did not go worse in Dignitas' favor, but Damonte now pushing in the top lane, making sure to take advantage of so many members of Dignitas showing themselves far away on the map. He does not have much ward control here, so he's got to be a little careful because he doesn't know where Dignitas could be coming up to try and catch him out. But Seeing all members of Dignitas bot lane, he's not too worried up there. Dignitas now rotating back to mid lane, going to clear out what FBI had pushed in. And now we've got this dragon in less than a minute. This is the soul. This is a big one for Golden Guardians. They want to get the next dragon as soon as possible. Prevent Dignitas from getting a bunch of damage onto FBI, but the Lantern from Hui going to make sure that Aphromoo and Acadian cannot catch him out. Couple wards being dropped here. Haunser now coming up through the river. And that is a teleport now coming in from Damonte, getting back to the Dragon Pit as Golden Guardians are looking for the fight. They don't want to fight around the dragon. They want to fight on their terms, pushing back all of these wards, pushing all of Dignitas's vision out and getting their own in exchange, pushing Dignitas back to make sure that they have priority on this Dragon Pit. This soul is really important. Viper looking to come around from this side, looking to flank Golden Guardians and get the fight they want. Golden Guardians pulling back towards Dragon Pit. Frozen Domain being dropped by Acadian as he's going forward. Huhi and Closer making sure to try and stop Acadian here as the rest of Golden Guardians are just doing the dragon. That Dignitas does not have vision of the dragon. And that's the smite. Closer landing that, making sure that the soul goes over to Dignitas. They're going to catch Viper and bring him in, kill him quickly. Damonte now going in really hard, utilizing that ultimate to get back out safely. The hook going wide from Hui, not actually landing onto any members of Dignitas. Aphromoo taken very low. Acadian low as well. Closer pretty low on Golden Guardian side, but all 5 members up, all 5 above half HP at least. Dignitas turning their attention to the mid lane turret. Even though Golden Guardians not actually capitalizing on us, they're going to take that objective in return. But Haunser down in the bot lane pushing for that tier 2 turret as Dignitas looks like they're going to be forced to recall. No one there to really answer Haunser. He's going to utilize that tower destruction rune there, going to get a bunch of damage on this turret. With Dignitas just recalling, he is going to take that. And with the soul now onto Golden Guardians, there's only a single dragon onto Dignitas' side. They're not going to be able to get any more unless they want to try and get an Elder Drake, but that's not the same. That's huge. And now Johnson firing off an ult over onto Baron, just checking, making sure that Golden Guardians didn't decide to try something crazy. 5,000 gold up, 3 turrets over Dignitas's, and just 2 kills there. Most of the gold that Golden Guardians has built up is in CS leads and neutral objectives. Closer nearly 80 CS above Acadian. He has really shown a lot of dominance this game, making sure to have neutral objectives, making sure to have that level priority. That 1v1 kill very early in the game has really set the tone for their match here. Closer just running rampant over Acadian and having all the priority in that matchup. Huhi stepping a little far. Aphromoo here, he's going to go in with the Zenith Blade, and that's going to go start the fight here. Hui taking a bunch of damage, but Damonte FBI going in really hard here. Aphromoo going to fall. Johnson going to be forced to... Oh, he's not quite get out. Going to die to Damonte as well. Viper going to use that Haymaker to deal a bunch of damage, prove a shield to keep him alive. Damonte with the double buff going to be trying to get away. Acadian going to utilize the flash and the pillar to make sure that he does not get out. Haunser on low HP. That ult is ticking. Huhi waiting over the wall there to make sure that no one else falls. A 2 for 2 in exchange. A very interesting fight start there. Aphromoo going pretty hard onto Huhi, even though not a lot of his team was very close. At this point, Huhi is just clearing wards. Closer just in the brush there. Dignitas does not know Closer's there, but now he was in sight there, so they know it was a 2v2. And right now at a 4v3, Huhi taken very low. Damonte going in, allowing them to blow up Johnson almost very quickly, forcing him back. He's taken very low. Damonte going in, making sure to finish that off while FBI kills Aphromoo, but then a well-placed ult from Viper going to allow him to get into the fray there, and then the Haymaker going to take FBI low enough that Acadian can finish that off. Acadian then chasing down Damonte, getting that double buff back. Haunser continuing that fight and just falling back with his life. A very interesting fight that seemed like it was really heavily in Golden Guardian's favor from the start. It seemed like Dignitas were not going to be able to recover that, but well played by them to at least end that in a 2 for 2, what could have been a lot messier very quickly. So all in all, not the worst fight. Still only about 4,000 gold ahead on Golden Guardian's side. No one has really tried to make a play for Baron yet. Damonte does have his teleport up, so once again, he is causing pressure in that bot lane, forcing someone to have to respond. It looks like it's going to be Viper, who does have teleport up. Dignitas having 3 members of their team with teleport, going to allow them to answer any threats or any neutral objective calls that happen. Elder Dragon up in 2 minutes, so that's going to be something on the minds of the players soon. Baron still being up, but not being something anyone has really tried for yet. Viper going in for the fight, utilizing that Blade of the Ruined King on Damonte. Damonte going to have to use the ult to dodge the Haymaker, deal a bit of damage in return, but not quite enough to actually force Viper back. Going to end up running himself. Viper starting to be quite a menace here. The Gargoyle's Stone Plate making him quite tanky in these team fights, and then the Blade of the Ruined King Black Cleaver allowing him the cooldown reduction and damage to actually be a significant threat. Over on Hauntzer's side, he has completed that Guardian Angel, so now he is a threat in these fights, being able to dive in pretty carelessly and just try to do a bunch of damage, be a menace until Dignitas can actually finish taking him down. Only for him to come back shortly after. Judging by the Aegis, he's going to be building a Death's Dance next, making him even tankier, as he is going to be putting damage off onto that bleed and a lot more lifesteal. The Death Cap on Damonte, allowing him to do quite a bit of damage, along with the Protobelt, lets him get in onto Johnson or Froggen very effectively. Heal cut on several members of Dignitas, it looks like. All in all, a lot of items completed, a lot of power spikes finished, a lot of threats on the board for both teams. Right now, it looks like the play is around these neutral objectives. Golden Guardians looked like they were trying to get some priority around the Dragon Pit, but they might not want to engage that with Dignitas, especially with Dignitas's teamfight potential around these more constrained objectives in the Dragon Pit. A good hook from Huhi, going to get a little damage onto Acadian. Aphromoo going in onto Haunzer. Damonte in the back line. Viper coming in from the side, but a lot of damage onto Aphromoo before this fight's even started. A Shockwave only going to catch Closer and Huhi. A bunch of damage onto Acadian. Viper looking to go in. Stunned up, not able to throw the Haymaker out. Takes a bunch of damage, 2 for 0 so far, as Golden Guardians look towards the Elder Dragon, which just spawned. Dignitas might be trying to threaten Baron in return, force them off of that. Yeah, Dignitas just rolling up, starting Baron, even though they're in a 3v5. Golden Guardian's going to be forced to respond. Closer coming upwards, taking a bunch of damage from Johnson, who he being forced to lantern him over the wall, but Damonte finishing off Acadian in exchange. And that's going to be an easy Elder Dragon, as Haunzer just tanks it, and FBI deals the ridiculous amount of damage he has. 4 items completed. Haunzer going to get that stun off, but just barely, not in time to actually stop the teleport, ending up a 3 for 0 that Golden Guardians are turning into both Elder Dragon and Baron here. Dignitas really have nothing to actually stop them from taking this. That's going to be a huge next 3 minutes here, as Elder Dragon for 2, Baron for 3. Golden Guardians going to be able to push in hard. Froggen now putting that ball out in the middle here, trying to get a scary setup for the Shockwave, but this hook onto Acadian starting off the fight as Aphromoo goes in onto Haunzer, even though he's only half HP, jumping into the middle of Golden Guardians with no one from his team ready to follow up. Closer and Huhi getting caught by that Shockwave, but none of the threats really being caught there. Viper getting stunned up, not able to get the shield from the Haymaker. The rest of the damage from Golden Guardians really just finishing him off very quickly. Damonte, Huhi, and Closer now rotating top to contest this Baron, as the other 2 members of Golden Guardians just take a very easy Elder Dragon. Closer takes a bunch of damage from Johnson, but separates him from the rest of his team. Huhi just pulls him over the wall with a lantern, and then Damonte finishing off Acadian with the high amount of burst damage he has. Dignitas in a really scary position, 9,000 gold behind. Golden Guardians coming in with the Elder buff, the Baron buff, the Dragon Soul. Golden Guardians are in a massive lead here, able to just siege all 3 lanes at once without being too threatened here. Damonte able to easily 1v1 most members of Dignitas, burst out Johnson, Froggen, or, he just showed he could kill Acadian very easily as well. Haunzer still being a threat, not scared of Dignitas going in on him too hard. Damonte taking that top lane turret thanks to the empowered cannon minions, Hansert going in onto Viper. FBI jumping in off of that CC. Viper throwing out the Haymaker, getting a huge shield, but not going to be enough to stop him from dying. That's going to be one member of Dignitas down. All 3 inhibitor turrets down. One inhibitor going to fall very quickly, and I'm assuming the other one's shortly after. But Golden Guardians may just push with the minions. They still have 18 seconds on this Elder buff. That's still 20 seconds where Dignitas have a very hard time fighting them. They're just going to take one Nexus turret. That's going to be a bunch of damage onto Acadian, but not quite as much as I thought it was going to be. But Golden Guardians just focusing the turrets, not going for the fight. Now they're going in off of a stun. They're going to take Froggen down immediately. Haunts are going to get out with just a sliver of health. Aframu burning the ultimate to try and stay alive, but he's going to go down. Golden Guardians just cleaning house, taking the rest of Dignitas down as they're going to take a clean end to this game. 13,000 gold ahead. Still with the Baron buff, just going to show off those emotes a little bit and flash them for the final play of the game. Wow, they ran that game so well. They just taking all of those objectives, making sure they had pure objective control. Closer getting priority over Acadian very early with that solo kill and never letting up, keeping that tight grip, only letting one dragon slip due to a really good setup and engage by Dignitas. Honestly, I'm a little surprised we didn't see Dignitas try and leverage using the ultimate of Froggen, using that shockwave more. They had several delivery systems for it with the Leona and the Set, but I don't think we saw once Froggen throwing the ball onto Leona, or Viper for that matter, giving the speed buff, popping the shield, and them going in and then firing off that ult to start the fight. We didn't see Dignitas trying to aggressively start a fight, trying to catch anything special, and really, Golden Guardians just utilized their priority that they had, utilized lane pressure, and really played that incredibly well, making sure to have all of that priority turn into actual gains. Incredibly well played. Good game to them. Congratulations on the win.